All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Natomas High School, the home of the Nighthawks. My name is Marcel Baker. I am the principal here at Natomas High School. We are super excited to have Attorney General Rob Bonta on our campus this morning for this monumentous occasion. I want to recognize, first of all, some of our district personnel are here. Our superintendent, Dr. Robin Castillo. And we have two of our trustees here. Trustee Samita Mehta is here, and then Trustee Erica Hardin is here, so we thank you all for being here. We have had a partnership with IYT over 10 years? They've been here on our campus over 10 years. I know they were here before I even got to the district 8 years ago. So it's been a very fruitful partnership for us and our students that have gone through the program and the support that they've received. So having partnerships like this on our campus are very important to support our students, not just what we're doing here in high school, but going to college and beyond. So we thank IYT for their partnership and look forward to their continued partnership going forward. With that, again, thank everybody for being here. I'm going to turn it over to Attorney General Rob Bonta.
Thank you. Well, it is my great pleasure to be here. Thank you, Principal Baker, for the kind introduction and for hosting. I'm grateful for the opportunity to spend some time here with amazing volunteers, an amazing program, Improve Your Tomorrow, as well as the leader of Cal Volunteers, who's been doing great work up and down the state, Josh Friday. And just want to say thanks for the opportunity to come here. And want to say a little bit about Improve Your Tomorrow. Doing this work, not just here, but in many sites across the country, helping young men of color go to and through college. And I just want to highlight the transformative, powerful, life-changing work that AmeriCorps members are doing in communities across our state, certainly exemplified by Improve Your Tomorrow as one of many examples of critical on-the-ground work, making our communities better, making them stronger, serving our fellow Americans and lifting people up. Volunteerism is a trait and an asset that makes us great here, and we need programs like AmeriCorps to spur it and support it and create infrastructure for it. So AmeriCorps is a federal program for sure. It's our sort of gold standard for a national program that provides for volunteerism and volunteerism opportunities. But it is also more than that. It is a promise. It's a promise that service matters, a promise that community matters, and a promise that every person has something meaningful to contribute. And here in California, that promise is alive, it is well, it is thriving, as demonstrated by the incredible volunteers here. This year alone, more than 6,000 AmeriCorps members served at more than 1,200 sites across the state in places like schools just like this, or food banks, homeless shelters, health clinics, youth centers, veterans facilities, and countless nonprofit and faith-based partners. And these are the people helping our kids learn. They're feeding families, they're supporting veterans, they're lifting up communities every single day in so many ways. And so we know this service is commendable. We know that it takes on an even deeper meaning now during the holidays, a time when stepping up for one another matters most. And it's wonderful to see it on full display here. Unfortunately, earlier this year, this vital work, that vital work of AmeriCorps across the state was put at grave risk. The Trump administration attempted to dismantle AmeriCorps and cut off critical funding, threatening not just an agency, but the communities and the families, the people, the children, the veterans that rely on these members' service. When that happened, California stepped in. My office sued to stop the unlawful effort to defund AmeriCorps. We secured early relief to keep AmeriCorps members in the field, and then when the administration took an additional action by attempting to withhold an additional $184 million in funding, we expanded our lawsuit to block that improper withholding. And we're grateful to be able to tell you that rather than defend its illegal actions in court, the administration ultimately agreed to release the funds, agreed to release the $184 million to fund AmeriCorps. That meant that programs like Improve Your Tomorrow stayed open, service members were able to keep their positions, and communities continued to receive the support that they depend on. So we are grateful to be able to deliver that result for California, for AmeriCorps, for volunteers, for communities across the state. In California, we're not looking for a fight, but we won't hesitate to defend our people, our values when they're under threat, including our critical programs like AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps is one of the most effective community-centered federal programs, and I want to share my own personal story with AmeriCorps. When I was fresh out of college, I joined an AmeriCorps program in New Haven, Connecticut. It was one of my probably the most meaningful service experience I ever had. I was working with a number of other college students and high school students, serving groups of children that range in age from 5 and 6 to 13 and 14. And I had my own group of boys that I worked with. They were 12 and 13 years old. Desmond and Tavares and Joseph and Frank and others that I got a chance to work with every day. And we were part in this program of a mission where we believed we could change the trajectory of our future. We could tackle systemic problems like poverty and gun violence and communities that were overburdened and under-resourced and make them better. And I will never forget the boys that I work with, the young people that I work with, the families that I work with, the communities that I served, the people with whom I served side by side as part of a program that was pretty new back then. This is, I won't age myself, but this was in the early years of Bill Clinton and his launch of AmeriCorps. And so that program, you know, decades later is doing the same thing, and it has done that for years in between, launching volunteers into our society, leading to careers in public service and helping families and children and others turn their lives around with the support and love and volunteerism of their fellow Americans. So AmeriCorps continues to deliver on its very important mission. When we invest in AmeriCorps, we're investing in people, we're investing in communities, we're investing in families, and that's not something the numbers always make clear. But last year alone, AmeriCorps invested more than $133 million in California, supporting service work that tackles educational inequities and strengthens public safety and addresses environmental challenges and builds resilience in all of our communities, supporting organizations like Improve Your Tomorrow, who rely on AmeriCorps members to mentor students and support classrooms. I do want to also say that the fight to protect AmeriCorps is part of a larger fight that we are engaged in. Over the last 45 weeks, my office has taken the Trump administration to court 48 times to stop illegal actions that threaten Californians. The illegal actions seeking to improperly defund AmeriCorps was just one of them. This has covered a whole range of issues. A lot of the efforts include trying to improperly remove funding from California that Congress has already appropriated. We've protected over $168 billion of funding that that California is due from the federal administration. We've protected constitutional rights like birthright citizenship and the right to vote. We've helped secure orders preventing our cities from being militarized. We've protected food programs for the hungry and a number of other issues. We've protected public safety, ensuring victim services programs receive the funds that they need and that they deserve. We've safeguarded schools, restoring almost $1 billion, $900 million in unlawfully withheld education funding, and we've blocked illegal conditions on transportation and homeland security grants, protecting billions in critical federal support in that regard. So these efforts are ongoing. We will continue to engage with one North Star, that the rule of law is paramount and must be followed. That includes being followed by the federal administration, by the President of the United States. Time and time again, we've gone to court and we've secured preliminary injunctions, temporary restraining orders, more and more final judgments in our cases. As cases have advanced and cases have proceeded, we're winning over 80% of the time in these lawsuits, holding this administration accountable, and every win, big or small, matters. Preserving AmeriCorps, that was a big one, and we were grateful to be able to deliver that victory because it's not just a program, it's one of the most effective tools we've got to build opportunity, to open doors for the next generation of leaders, and here in California, we will always defend that. This holiday season, I'm especially grateful for the thousands of AmeriCorps members serving in communities across our state, doing it because they care, because of the mission to serve, not for the recognition, but I want to recognize them and say thank you. I appreciate what they do to make our community stronger and better. When we lift each other up, when we help one another, we're at our best, and AmeriCorps demonstrates that. I'm proud of the work that my office did to protect AmeriCorps. Proud that programs like Improve Your Tomorrow can keep mentoring, keep inspiring, and keep uplifting young people. And proud that California continues to be the leader here, demonstrating what real service and real community looks like. Our message is clear. We'll continue to defend our values. We'll continue to defend our communities. And we'll continue to defend the programs that help California thrive, regardless of what the president throws our way. Thank you for all of your service to all the members that are here and across the state. Thank you for your commitment to our next generation. And with that, I'm honored to turn it over to Chief Service Officer Josh Friday.
Thank you, Attorney General Bonta. As the Chief Service Officer for the state of California, it's always special when we get to highlight and celebrate service. It's especially cool when you get to do it with the Attorney General of the state of California, who so perfectly embodies the spirit of service that makes us love California. And it's also cool when you get to be surrounded by unbelievable young leaders and mentors like you see behind me with the incredible organization Improve Your Tomorrow. Today is Tuesday of Giving. It's a day of giving, where we ask people to donate, to give to charities, which there's still time for you to do. Here in California, we also ask people to give their time as volunteers, to give their time to help their neighbors. And here in California, there are people who give up to a year of their life to serve in their community, to support their community. And they're part of the California Service Corps. In California, we now have over 10,000 young people who commit up to a year and get paid to serve in their community. We've created a service corps bigger than the entire Peace Corps. And earlier this year, their work, this inspiring work, as the Attorney General mentioned, was put in jeopardy when President Trump and DOJ recklessly and cruelly and illegally withheld funds for AmeriCorps, an important part of the California Service Corps. And this impacted not only the 6,000 AmeriCorps members in the state of California, it put in jeopardy over $90 million for our state. And it's not just about money. It's about our communities. Because when the fires hit in LA, it was our AmeriCorps members who were there on day one, setting up the shelters to help provide shelter for those who just lost their homes. During the government shutdown, when CalFresh and SNAP benefits were delayed, it was our AmeriCorps members who were supporting our food banks to make sure our families were fed. And when our young people across the state of California need high-dosage tutoring and literacy coaches, it is our AmeriCorps members who are stepping up and giving them the support that they need. And so thankfully, Governor Newsom, Attorney General Bonta, and the state of California jumped into action, sued the Trump administration, and were successful in restoring the funding. And today we stand here to celebrate and highlight service. But we also remind ourselves that we are in a time where we need to stand up. We need to stand up to the Trump administration who is attacking our state, attacking our communities. We also need to stand up for our values. And most importantly, we need to stand up for each other. It's why we're calling on people to serve, to help in their communities, to be a part of the California Service Corps. It's why we are recruiting for AmeriCorps. Today, we have 110 AmeriCorps members right here in the Sacramento region. We have room for hundreds more. We have openings for thousands of AmeriCorps members across the state of California, and we need you to go to caservicecorps.com today to learn how you can make a difference. Because in California, we understand the importance of investing and protecting service. We understand that service transforms not just lives, but it transforms communities. And so I want to thank Attorney General Bonta for standing up to protect service, for standing up to protect our communities. And I also want to thank our incredible partners who stood with us during a chaotic and an uncertain time And they stood with us because they understand the importance of this work. Perfectly timed. And I want to thank our partners like Improve Your Tomorrow. Founded by Michael Casper and Michael Lynch, this incredible organization that provides mentorship to our young people throughout the state of California. And most importantly, I want to thank our service members who wake up every single day with one mission, and that's to make California stronger. So thank you. Thank you to Californians who continue to step up. Please go to caservicecorps.com today to find out how you can make a difference as well. And I now have the honor of introducing the co-founder and CEO of Improve Your Tomorrow, also a commissioner appointed by the governor of the state of California to the California Volunteers Commission, Michael Lynch.
I'd like to start by offering my sincere thanks to Attorney General Rob Bonta for his steadfast commitment, right, to defending AmeriCorps. This support is absolutely critical for the health of our communities. You know, we got a denial notice. We had a termination notice on April 25th, 2025. And I remember receiving that email thinking, what are we going to do? You know, we were one of 1,100 programs across the country, several hundred right here in California that said that our grants were no longer active, right? They were terminated because of presidential priorities. So I'm grateful, like, for the commitment of the Attorney General to defend this important work. It's important work that these young folks behind me not only benefit from, right, but thrive from. We're facing a crisis where economic shifts, technological isolation, and changing social dynamics have left thousands of young men and boys feeling a deep sense of apathy, disconnection, and a lack of purpose. This lack of social connectedness, the feeling of not being valued or needed, is one of the driving factors behind rising rates of suicide and drug use amongst this population. This crisis, driven by economic shifts and decline of in-person community building, is acutely felt by young men of color. The deficit of connection and purpose is compounded by systemic and historical inequities. They see a painful disconnect between their dreams and where they are today. This is precisely why AmeriCorps programs are so vital. They just don't fill community needs, they build connections. They're a pathway to dreams. Service is inherently powerful. It cuts through isolation by enabling social connectedness and a powerful sense of purpose. When young men are given the ability to be shown that they matter, they are loved, and their help is needed, it transforms lives. At IYT, service is intentionally woven into their core. Service is one of our core values. They demonstrate the undeniable, the importance of actively serving your community if you won't change it. AmeriCorps creates the infrastructure for this transformation, ensuring that thousands have access and opportunity to be active participants in shaping their communities, bridging their gap between now and their future. Like, this work is critical. And the leadership that California Volunteers, along with Chief Service Officer Josh Friday, has led, has been critical for helping us to be able to continue to do the powerful mission of helping young men. I'm reminiscent of a story. Bryce was a freshman here at Natomas High School in 2017. You know, when I met Bryce, he had about a 1.0 GPA. You know, his dad had just passed away. You know, he was new to Sacramento, new to the school, and going through all the different challenges, right, that young men of color face, but also coming from a tremendous amount of challenge. Ice cream, that's what it is. Yeah. It's much better than the bell I had. It's a pretty long bill. 50 seconds? Okay. Should I continue? Okay.
I think maybe 30 seconds more.
Okay. We can wait. We can operate here. It is.
I want to Choco Taco.
Sounds like a good idea, Josh. Another one. Bryce is a result of IYT, going from a 1.0 to 1.0 GPA right to a 3.0 within a semester, or continuing his college journey at ARC, and this past year, like transferring right to Sac State. Bryce, all throughout this time, has been an AmeriCorps member with IYT because the service that he received here at Natomas High School was critical to his development as a young man. As we enter this holiday season, a time traditionally centered on giving and gratitude, I'd like to urge everyone watching to engage in service and support AmeriCorps programs and their partner organizations. By supporting them, you are directly investing in the relationships that give young men hope, purpose, and a sense of belonging in their community. They give so much back to their communities by providing purpose and connection. We need that now more than ever. I would like to introduce Sergio. Sergio is an IYT alum from our program at Rio Linda High School, a second-year IYT AmeriCorps member who is dedicated to serving this community. I'll call Sergio up here to close this out.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sergio. First, I would love to say thank you to the Natomas Unified District for holding this press conference today. Then I'd like to say thank you to IYT and AmeriCorps staff for being here today. And also I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Attorney General Bonta for being here today and showing why it's important to hold programs like this. Growing up as a second-generation Latino here in America, second-generation graduate, I never really had the resources growing up. If it meant as getting a tutor or anything like that, I really didn't have it. So I had to go look for it for myself. And once I came across a program such as IYT, they helped me find that support that I needed as a young man and how to really make my dreams feel achievable. So with the help of IYT, they are the reason why I'm being able to feel the strength and power to think that anything's achievable. And now with this being my second year as an IYT mentor, I'm proud to say that I get to give back all the support, engagement, all the help to the next generation of young men that was once poured into me. So off the top of that, I'd like to give it back to Mr. Attorney General Bonta. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I just want to end with again another thank you for Improve Your Tomorrow, AmeriCorps, everyone who's here today to join this press conference, everyone who volunteers and gives service to our fellow community members to make us better and stronger. And with that, happy to answer any questions that you might have.